Give me a bite. Give me a bite. Give me a bite of that. Give me a bite of that. Give me a bite of that. Give me a piece of that. I love a piece of that. Bite-sized Thursday. Hooray!
Welcome, one and all. Welcome to Bite-Sized Thursday. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Woohoo! Gobbly, gobbly, good times for all of us. Today's a very, very good time because we get to watch a classic 90s show. That's right, Seinfeld. They have plenty of, I can't remember if Jared mentioned if they did multiple or not of Thanksgiving episodes, but the one that we're doing today is the Mom and Pop Shop.
Store.
Shop.
Wasn't
Store. I think it's a Mom and Pop Shop.
it? Store. I'm looking at it right now. The Mom and Pop Store.
Shop has a better ring to it, so I'm
Well,
I mean, their episode better than they
Jump in your TARDIS and go back and convince them to rename it.
I will
and convince us not to do Doctor Who month.
Or convince us to pick better episodes.
better. Yes, I like that. But anyway, I have not seen. I've maybe seen personally like 10-ish episodes of Seinfeld. So yeah, no, it's good. I enjoy it. I know Jake and Jared have seen plenty of it. Jared, you've seen all of it, right?
Yep, I watched the whole thing a couple years ago, and I want to watch it
it.
again. Just I don't watch TV shows over that much, so
I know you're still
maybe
watching
one day.
Smallville.
And Digimon, I'm still spiting you, by the way.
It's
been almost a year.
Have you made any progress?
No,
So you've been locked in your basement for
Shocker.
a week, and you haven't made any progress on anything.
no, I watch movies.
You haven't
catch
made
up
any
with TV
progress
shows.
on any spite.
He's too full of COVID.
No.
Quick, I forgot
Too
to mention in case
soon.
everybody couldn't tell the little bit different setup here. We are in fact social distancing because someone had to go and catch the Rona.
Someone had to go and get coughed in their face.
How
Yeah,
dare you,
just like that episode of Everybody Loves Raymond, where the guy just at the airport sneezes on him, and he's so convinced he's sick, and the whole episode it's like, Ray, get out of bed, you're not sick, and then the doctor calls and says, Ray, get back into bed, you have strep.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, we're watching Seinfeld today.
Seinfeld, absolutely. I'm excited. And anything you want to mention before we jump right into this episode?
All I remember is it, like with most Seinfeld, it's not about Thanksgiving, it's just taking place around Thanksgiving, or like on the day before, I think. You know what I'm saying?
It's more so the setting. Yeah.
Thanksgiving's not part of the plot, it's just happening around.
Makes sense. All right, I'm excited to watch this. So, without any further ado,
Take a bite. Gobbly gobbly goo.
so welcome back after a 2-second edit, and we just watched the show. That is quite a charming and fun show.
He said it again.
Oh, I said it again.
Charming. It's so
Said
charming.
it again.
I don't know why. Charming is just it's an easy thing to label things as. Oh, it's charming. Oh, it's charming. It's fun. It's lighthearted.
it's cute.
I don't know
It's
if
cute, right, Jared? It's
Seinfeld is
cute.
charming.
Charming.
Yeah,
I
charming?
enjoyed out of it. I enjoyed my time watching the episode. That's charming.
It is definitely a product of the 90s.
But in the
absolutely is.
best way.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some things that it's like oof, but this is like no, this is funny.
Yeah,
There's so many
I do
moving
think-
parts.
well, that's the thing is, I do think because it is, I do think it's it is a more moving episode, like you were saying. I feel like it didn't take time for us to laugh out loud at the jokes. I kept finding myself snickering and then just keep moving along with the zaniness that's going on. It wasn't just blah, laugh out loud moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, Seinfeld's thing is they take anything and make it relevant in just fun ways. Like, it's not saying everything's important, but one seemingly insignificant object plays a role later in the episode. I thought there was some kind of board Larry David once showed, or Jerry showed once, where they're drawing all the lines this goes here and this goes here. Because Elaine has that trophy thing. It doesn't. I don't think it means anything until it's set down and Jerry bumps it out the window and pops Woody Woodpecker.
Did she get that from the radio station that she?
Maybe
I don't
that's the thing,
remember
and of
where.
course,
I don't remember where she
was
got it
listening
from.
to
Like
the.
she was at that jazz
yeah.
diner.
I don't,
Mhm.
and it could be, and this is another thing. There are parts of context that you would have seen earlier in the season for certain things because they have like these the overarching stories and running gags. Dickie, you had mentioned between that you were confused about the Yankees thing. That's because
Yeah, I did not remember.
at the end of one of the seasons before, George decides to do everything opposite, and because of that, everything works out for him. And one of the things he does is he gets a job with the New York Yankees, and his job is nothing. He does nothing. But that's just like one thing that's established earlier that is still ongoing. And of course, being a show about nothing, I love that the whole episode boils down to George buys a car. That's it.
That
Nothing
he thought
else.
was owned by John Voight. Very
Oh,
important.
no, it was just not that John Voight. And I love that they got John Voight to be in the episode for one scene, and he bites Kramer, and it wasn't self-defense. It wasn't self-defense. He grabs his arm, pulls it in, and just, takes a big old corn on the cob bite. That was so funny.
How hard do you think they had to sell John Voight on that? It's like, hey, we want you to be in a show for like 30 seconds.
I think it would have been more like, hey, John Voight, you want to be on this #1 syndicated show right now? Get paid all this money to be in one scene and bite Michael Richards? He's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
That's fair.
especially with those
That's
like
fair.
the big '90s sitcoms. Like some of the guest stars that were on like Friends, all they do is walk into the coffee shop and say one line.
Danny
And,
DeVito.
like there was this whole like, oh no, he's a stripper in that one.
Well, yeah, but that's what I was thinking. Like, he was on it for like an episode, and everyone's like, "Oh my god!"
But like they did this whole like Mad About You crossover thing, and the whole crossover is just they walk in and hey, you want to get coffee here? The friends do something funny, and they're like, no, these people are crazy, and they walk out. I feel like this is probably gonna be wildly incorrect, but I feel like more money was spent on guest stars for sitcoms in that era.
Oh, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just thinking about this. Like, Bryan Cranston was in this episode. Like,
But he wasn't a giant name at the time. He was Tim Watley. He's the dentist, and he is a recurring character throughout the show. And this is pre-big, like, because Malcolm in the Middle hadn't happened yet. That started in like 2001 or something, wasn't it?
Would he have been on Power Rangers before this?
I don't know. I don't know much about Power Ranger.
Someone look
Okay.
that up real quick. I don't think so.
I don't have my phone.
Did you guys hear that one of the Power Rangers just died today?
Yeah, the Green Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't that old. Sad. I was gonna say though about the Tim Watley character. He's in it more in other episodes. This episode is just kind of he's the reason they're all together at the end of the episode because it's his party, his Thanksgiving Eve party, and that's again the only big Thanksgiving tie outside of the parade. And it's not even the parade yet, right? Because it's the night before.
They were just getting ready for it.
Popped.
Google is failing me right now. I can't see when. Anyway, but yeah, it's still.
Yes, Bryan Cranston was in Power Rangers, but it was not in the era of Power Rangers that we were talking about. It's in the movie from 2014.
Okay. I thought it was just that, but then when you said, I go, "Oh, was he in the show too?"
See, that's what I thought. That's what I thought Dickie was talking about. No,
yeah, that is what I was talking.
He's Zordon in the movie in 2014.
Huh.
Or 2017.
17 sounds better.
Okay.
Yeah, but
I'm not sure though.
I still like that he played a dentist. Like, that's just a random.
Yeah, again, he shows up a lot more. There's a great back and forth. It doesn't even have to do with him, but in a different episode where Jerry and Kramer have a back and forth where Kramer calls Jerry an anti-dentite. And it's, you're an anti-dentite. I am not an anti-dentite. Yes, you are. Pretty soon you're going to say they need their own schools. They do have their own schools. Aha!
That's one thing I always appreciated about Seinfeld. The episodes that I have watched is that I feel like they let the jokes breathe a bit more than maybe newer comedies that are kind of like, hey, look at our joke here.
Yeah, they don't draw attention to it a lot. It's more like subtle. I mean, well, maybe not subtle is
With
the
with,
word, but I
with
feel
the
like it's
exception of the physical comedy and obviously Kramer, because he's just kind of
he's just he's
made to be that physical comedy person.
I just
I know
he's always shaking and always doing that, just
I mean,
jumping back and stuff.
he's the perfect hair for it. It's just flopping all around. It's just like it's fun to watch.
Speaking of
And
that, you talk about missing context. Is there something like with the nosebleed thing?
Yeah, I was.
I don't think there is from another episode. I don't remember. You said you were confused by the ending of the episode. Like, why did it end kind of like that? And that's because it's a reference to the movie Midnight Cowboy, which they talk about. They mention in the episode because of Jon Voight. And it's at the end of Midnight Cowboy. Jon Voight and Dustin Hoffman are on the bus there, and Dustin Hoffman is dying. Whereas in this, it's just Kramer with a bloody nose, so he's all woozy, and it's just kind of an homage to it. And it's funny because Midnight Cowboy isn't like unknown. You know, it's the first X-rated Best Picture winner. Well, the only X-rated Best Picture winner. And then people would have known what it was. And then now it's like, yeah, there's a lot of people that have no idea what it is. I have it on the shelf right over there. I probably should have grabbed it to show us. But, yeah, that's too far away.
I think there's less movies that you don't have on the shelf than...
Yes, I can imagine this movie that exists that is not on that shelf.
But anyway, that's what that whole it was
funny.
referencing Midnight Cowboy, because they even sing the song. Well, they're playing the song, and then like George is singing it to himself, like everybody's talking, I don't hear what they're saying. I'm driving Jon Voight's car. That's not in the actual song, of course. He's so stubborn and like, no, I made the right choice because this is Jon Voight's car. Just being usual, George.
And it was Jon Voight, just not a Jon Voight he thought.
Yeah,
he was a little bit less emotional than the other episodes that I have seen him in. George, that is.
Yeah. Like, if anything, they're not. I kind of like that they have their same character stuff, but it's not like every single episode they do the same things. So it is a calmer episode from him, but you still get that moment where he kicks Jerry out of his car just for making fun of him. Like, hey, is that Gregory Peck's bicycle?
Yeah.
And he's like, get out! And that's, of course, another thing of like Kramer has all of Jerry's shoes at the mom and pop store to be clean, so he has to wear the cowboy boots, and those cause him, when he gets kicked out of the car, he slips and hits his face because the guys scare him. And that's why he goes to the party to get a dentist to look at it. It's just so many things in motion there.
Well written.
I did not know that cobblers detail tennis shoes.
I know. Such a random thing. Like
it's on like even cobblers. Like that's a profession that's changed a lot because they still exist, but it's not like you go get your shoes all the time. Like nowadays, like most of us, I feel like, oh, my shoes ripped. I just go buy new ones. You know, the shoes usually last like a year, and then I just go get new ones. It's different now. And, I mean, how do you cobble that now? Because it's made in a factory.
I think they still work with like the leather ones that are the really, really expensive shoes, like boots and stuff. And like I think people replace like baseball cleats and stuff like that. But
basically stuff that you pay a lot more money for.
Yeah.
And not my $40 shoe carnival shoes.
Hey man, ain't nothing wrong with Shoe Carnival.
That's where I go.
It is funny that Quinn was trying to save them, and he was the person that caused them to close.
A usual trope in Seinfeld is they don't always mean, you know, there's not always ill will, but it just kind of happens to the people around them. And I like how whenever people have the big debate about like what's better, where's Seinfeld or Friends, it's like I'd always go Seinfeld. I think Friends is much more trapped in its time and has not aged as well. Whereas Seinfeld, I feel like they don't just get away with being terrible. They get their comeuppance at times, and especially in the finale. If you've seen the finale, which I don't think Dickey has,
I have not, but I've heard what happens. They all just go to jail.
basically, yep, it's everyone from the series or a bunch of people from the series coming back and testifying against them because they are terrible people. And a lot of people do not like the ending, but I thought the finale was perfect for it. It's like that's what they deserve. They're terrible.
Makes
Not
sense.
as terrible as some shows now, but
That's what I
they're
was
pretty
thinking. Kind
bad.
of relates to Always Sunny in that way. It's terrible people doing terrible things, but it's a little bit. They're a little nicer in Seinfeld.
Yeah.
But okay, so wrapping things up, do you want to say which of the Thanksgiving episodes were our favorites?
Yeah, I would just name the favorite.
Just do it straight out. We
Okay.
watched Rocco's, we watched New Girl, we watched
Everybody Loves Raymond
Everyone Was Raymond,
and
then
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Out of
I'd
all-
go. I think I laughed hardest at Seinfeld. I laughed hard at the other ones, but this one I'm gonna have to pick the Seinfeld one.
Nice, good pick. I again, I think this is one of the maybe the best months we've had when it comes to quality. I think I have to say my favorite. I think it's Everyone Loves Raymond. That caught me off. Like I was not
That
ready to
turkey.
laugh at as much as I did.
That
but
turkey.
It was so good. It was so good. And I like making fun of vegans. So
Mine has got to be what's it called? Floundering Fathers
Yeah,
from Rocco.
I knew you were gonna pick
Like,
that.
I know it was my pick, and I know that that's kind of basic to pick my pick. Obviously, you did it too, but like
I didn't.
I know that's actually kind of surprised me.
It's the backstory. It's the family backstory that does it.
It's
That's
just a
that's what makes that segment.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. It's so good. Awesome. So many good Thanksgiving episodes that everybody else should go watch in their free time if you're looking for things to do over the weekend while you're laying just in a coma from all the turkey that you've eaten. So also, if you're laying in a coma and don't have anything else to do, you can follow us on social media. Jared, where can they follow us?
Oh, well, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and the funny TikTok. And if Twitter is still around at this point, you can follow us there too. Pause for comedic effect. Also, you can listen to us on Stitcher and Google and Apple Podcasts and Spotify and iHeartRadio and what else is there? Oh, right here on YouTube if you're watching, you can like and subscribe and comment and ring our bell. Also,
forget
we
our
have a
website.
website. The website.
Oh,
We have a
yes, the
website.
offslatemedia.com.
And Dickey made it, right?
Yes, I did. It's a great looking website. 10 out of 10.
Yes. Go visit it.
Go visit it. And then don't forget to rate us on those podcasting websites. It just bumps up our numbers, makes us look good.
Oh,
So
yeah.
from all of us here at Off Slate Media, thank you for listening
Happy
to today's
Thanksgiving.
episode.
Happy
And
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
That's
Absolutely.
a turkey.
Go
Oh,
enjoy
there-
your turkey. Go enjoy your
Gobble
mashed
it up.
potatoes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So from all of us here, gobble, gobble, gobble.
Take a bite.
Bite me off a piece of that. Bite-sized Thursday! Hooray!